Well, hello, and welcome to today's sculpting session. Let's see, it decided that it wants me to be in the main camera, and I don't want that. I want the monster to be big and centered. Now, I've had to pull this camera back as far as I could from this monster because this is a big beastie. Like, this is my head next to this peak. This is a big ass monster. I've posted some quick videos of this, of how I built it out of cardboard. Then I wrapped aluminum foil around it to try and build out the base and give it some structure and some foundation before I actually start to sculpt on it. But now that it's here, I'm going to be putting Magic Sculpt on it. I'm going to be building it out. Whether you're here on Twitch, YouTube, or on Facebook, say hello in the comments if you're watching, just so I know that my sound is working. And also, Facebook was acting a little wonky the other day where I was having to actually refresh the page to be able to see the comments. So if I don't see your comment and I don't respond, it's not because I don't love you. It's just because Facebook was acting wonky. So here I am now. I need to mix up some of that Magic Sculpt to get things going on it. This is going to take a lot. And I also really want to put some weird cybernetic stuff into it because I want this to be an alien species with all sorts of weird gear and stuff built into it. So I'm going to go ahead and start mixing up Magic Sculpt. If you've never watched me sculpt before, I use this stuff. It's a two-part resin material. It's a hardening agent and a resin, and you mix them equally. So the first little bit is going to be me getting some of that out and then mixing it up together. So I just got to pinch off a chunk of it. I'm going to go a little bit bigger than I normally go with this because I've got a lot of area and surface that I need to cover today. Like pretty sizable. And I'm going to get an equal amount of the hardening agent. Now, the hardening agent comes in different colors. Like there's just the standard gray version or the kind that I'm about to grab out now, which is black. It's been pre-dyed. You can use whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. I just accidentally ordered some black on this last round. Usually I like it without the dye, just because it's less to get all over my hands. There is an odor and an aroma to it that's not good for you to breathe in too much. So I'm going to make this thing and then bounce out of my print shop and then go do that in the other room. As you can see here, I've got two, the resin, the hardening agent. They're about the same size. Going to put a lid on this so I'm not breathing it in anymore. And then I'm going to just turn this into a magical coil. I hope everybody is having a lovely Friday today. I've been getting to work on adventures most of the day. I did have a meeting this afternoon with some good friends about a project of theirs that I'm publishing. Just had to talk over some of the logistics and timeline of everything and get everything kind of make sure we were all on the same page with all of that, which was fantastic. Working with friends is one of the great things that's happened recently as a publisher for me, starting to help work with other people on things. So, got these two coils of snake, the resin, the hardening agent. You can see that they're two very different colors. I need to mix them together, twist them up, keep mashing them together until they are one. This is going to take a little longer than normal. Oh, got a leaf in there because I sat it down on some stuff because that's, oh well, that leaf is just going to blend in and that's going to be part of the sculpture now. And I'm looking forward to doing even more art this weekend. I've got things on my agenda that I want to do to try and take care of to get some things done, do a Kickstarter update for the Vast Grimm Escaping Stasis, get some other stuff out in the world, keep working on this. I've been also doing some other styles of illustrations, doing some stuff on my iPad. I was trying to do Procreate for a little bit, and then I know that because I'm using Affinity Photo and I have the Affinity Photo version on my iPad, I started messing with that last night, and I'm way more familiar with that now at this point because I've been using Affinity Photo for a few years as I weaned myself off of the Adobe teat. What's up, Malakat? Thanks for jumping in. Can you hear me okay? Again, just doing some coils. Got to blend this stuff together. It's got a long-ass way to go. And today it's going to be perhaps less dancey because I'm listening to more of the punk rock than the dance machine. I did not get up and dance this morning. Instead, I got up and I finished listening to a book I was listening to. But tomorrow, I'm going to go for that like 16 to 18 mile bike ride on my BMX. I think my rear end has finally recovered from the impression that my seat had on it after doing it the other day. Sound is good and Discord is broken for you. Oh no. No dancing. Well, it may change because just for right now, I'm listening to an old Pennywise album. But the dancing may come in at some point if I mash my fat thumbs on my phone to switch the music up. But we'll see. There's still little strands of gray in here that I want to work out. I think with this, I'm trying to figure out where I want to start. Like, it's so shiny right now because of the light glaring down on it because of the aluminum foil. I think I may want to start with the bony, and I'm terrible with terms, the dinosaur-like spines that are coming off of it. I think I may want to start with that, then start building the skin up around it, then build the beak out. Got a lot of area to cover. So it's pretty thoroughly mixed now. It's one color. I'm going to flatten this out pancake style, like doing almost like making a pancake to lay over top of it. That way I can start to build it out. I don't have to worry about any of the things, and just keep doing that. And of course, now I'm getting in. Okay, I need to respond to him after we're done streaming. My good friend Tiger Wizard. And just laying some of this down on here. The music's completely dead because my text ring is the Indiana Jones song, and it just goes on and on and on forever. And so with this, I'm just laying some base down on here. It doesn't have to be perfect. I need to just kind of start getting the foundation built. I can always build up on it later. I mainly did this to get I wanted to get aluminum foil down to give me a foundation and kind of build out so I'm not using too much Magic Sculpt on it, because honestly, the Magic Sculpt is super expensive. So I wanted to kind of build out enough of it so I could do a lighter coat on this. Also, it gets heavier, so I didn't want to weigh this down too much. Only in the age of the internet can you say the phrase, my good friend Tiger Wizard. It is true. Well, that was his stage name for the epic level rap gods. These thoughts of yesterday. Okay, continuing to build this out. So, and eventually I'm going to have to turn this so that you can see it better. Maybe I can do that while I'm working on this side. See how big and beastie that guy is? I mean, just from my elbow to the tips of my fingers, it's still not even all the way. There's still a few inches out there before it even gets to the front of the beak. And of course, because I had not answered or actually looked at my text message, it's giving me the Indiana Jones song again. So come on, just let me listen to my tunes. Let me jam out. Daggambit. You have many stories to start with my buddy Maggot, but that was just what he called himself. No internet involved. Oh, that's fair. I do like that. Okay, continuing to lay down this foundation. And I think I figured out the YouTube thing. I think I just have to create a new restream key every time I want to use it, which is pretty dumb. But if it's a workaround and if it makes it work, that's fine. The text, the chat messages still aren't jamming on over to Restream, so I still need to figure that out. But that's a fight for another day. Figure I'll do some sculpting here today and then probably take a break and do some sculpting tomorrow. Because this one's so big, this is easily going to be a probably 4 sessions sculpting thing, especially if I want to start building out weird contraptions. If I decide to do anything crazy, I thought about doing one of the eyes like a cyborg eye and putting a pink LED into it, but we'll see how that goes. See if I get around to it or not, or see if it scares me off. I know, dadgammit, you've got some good experience with using that stuff. And again, just taking this Magic Sculpt, mashing it down into it. Doesn't have to look pretty yet. Just has to build it out a bit. I thought about this evening after I get done walking up to the local brewery, but there is a country music thing at the Amp right across the street from it, and I do not think I want to be down there for that. So I will just keep making stuff, working on stuff, maybe work on stuff in the office. Which stuff? I looked away for a second. You have experience with LEDs and making things light up and glow. Never look away. You would like to vote yes on the eyeball with a pink LED. All right, well, the only LEDs I have are pink, so it would have to certainly be that. I squirted a little water on here just to kind of blend in and smooth out some of this Magic Sculpt a little bit. Start to make it feel like it's not just caked on, just to get things going a little bit. Okay, and what I like to do, even though it's going to be hard, I'm going to twist this thing around and I'm going to do the other side of the spiny bit at the same time, just so I'm getting both sides of it and being able to work and mash it in together. And then we'll start building that out more. So I'm going to just get attacked. Hello, my friend. Hopefully I won't take anything down in the process. Okay, sorry about this. You're probably going to get more of the back of my head on this side than I would normally prefer. And I'm too short. So let's see. We're going to drop this down. Boop. There we go. That's better. And I got to print out some pre-gen characters for a Vast Grimm game I'm running on Sunday, and also some character build sheets, because I think I'm going to give the option as to whether or not we do pre-gens or we create characters, since the character creation process is so fast. I think that'll be funsies. Oh, LEDs and such. Yes, all sorts of embedded electronics. Drill some holes where you are wanting lights and you can wire up some fun stuff. I think I'll build them in as I start to put in some of the cyborgy Mancini parts into this mofo. So I'll probably do that in some like extra plastic stuff that I add to this, because I'll be getting all sorts of like bits and pieces from my junk areas of things that I've been collecting to make weird sci-fi stuff out of. As it's not hoarding if you're making it for art. And I'm just putting more pieces of Magic Sculpt down, filling in the holes. Going to cover up most of this this aluminum. Okay, and here we go. Gonna drop this bit here. Sorry about the back of my head. Soon we'll add some water, smooth it all out, and then we'll add some details and textures to this, maybe build it up a little bit more. And then we'll have to mix up even more Magic Sculpt, because that stuff went fast, because like I said, we are covering lots and lots of area today. Do we call it pseudo hoarding then? That makes it easier. I have some laser diodes you can get with a gun with laser sight. Crazy. I don't know about the micro hoarding. I don't think hoarding is going to enter into my any descriptor I'm going to have of myself. I don't think I'll allow it. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna squirt both sides at the same time so that as I'm smoothing with one side, I'm moving in unison. That way it has a similar formation and shape, divots and that sort of thing as I go. So it has a similar structure. Except I do want more up there. I'm gonna want to cut some grooves into it. Lose control. I did not read the word diode in that message you sent. Yeah, I read it a little differently as well. And if anybody's jumping in on Facebook or on YouTube and hearing this weird conversation, this one-sided part, that is some chat that's happening over on the Twitch side of things. Because you can jump in and hang out wherever you are most comfortable. Whatever platform makes you happy at coming and joining in on this weird monster making experience. I'm putting some more little divots over here, some bumpity bumps, because I wanted it to have a slightly different profile as I'm starting to do that. I'm gonna again spray this. I should have put more water in here. I guess I'm going to have to give it some of my drinking water, and then I will dehydrate as I'm making this. Oh no, I will not. Dramatic. Sorry. Face. Two. Pulling my fingers down, giving it dips. Okay, I need some more over here. I want to build this one up a little bit more, give it a little more of a mohawky type thing. We're here for the happy monsters. I love that because they're happy right now because they're being made. Eventually they will be mean, angry, and ferocious. Or something, I don't know. I'm going to add a little bit here, just give it a slightly different shape. We'll blend it in a minute with some water and some spray. Face. Two. I don't even have the original drawing here to reference to see what I was thinking when I first did it, but that's okay. We're gonna let this creature go where it wants to go. It's gonna take the shape and form that it wants as we make it on stream. Get out of my way, light. Not in my face. Spray some water here, and then I'm going to come and grip it from both sides and push the magic sculpt away from it. We're going to take this form and shape it this way, giving it slight little rivets or divots, trying to make it slightly symmetrical. It will never be truly symmetrical, but that's okay. Now that we have that, we've got some of that going on, I'm going to jump in with a, this is kind of like a little shovelly tool. It's hard to see exactly. It's got a bunch of magic sculpt built up on it. I'm going to shave some of that off with another tool. And basically what I want to do is I want to come in and just throw some lines in here, some stuff that's going to look good when I go to throw some paint in, and it's going to just give it some texture. I'm going to hold it from this side just in case I press down hard. And I'm doing these as wider lines because it's okay because these are big bony structures, right? So I want these details to be a little more pronounced. It needs more water on here though, so it'll go smoothly as I'm slapping these lines into place. And this will show up for sure much better when we go to paint, which hopefully I will do on stream. So you'll get to see the entire process should you choose. Okay, we got that side. Now we're going to flip this guy around so you can see the other side. Creaky, creaky, creaky. Turn for me, my friend. Okay, do not eat the cord. Your head is lower than before. We're going to spin you a little bit more, a little bit more. There we go. It's what you're waiting for. I'm going to spray you down again. I'm definitely going to have to put some of my drinking water in there. Okay, I'm going to come in and do some lines up here. dig in a little bit more. Coming in like this. Some more lines. Lines. So many lines. Okay. We got that foundation in there. And now it's time to jump this up. There we go. Why is that trying to do that? I don't know why it's doing that. That's okay. Okay, so now we've got these bony, finny areas coming up there. And if anybody chats in Facebook, I may or may not see it. I'm going in and refreshing stuff. See, let's lift you up. No, we won't lift you up yet. We will pull you a little this way. So this is the kind of bony, foreheady structure. I've got just a little bit of Magic Sculpt left before we get into other stuff. So I'm going to start building this out. We're going to start laying some of this down. This is going to come up and over the fin, and we'll end up building up on that probably tomorrow after this is really dried and started to set up, because I want to let that set, but I also want to give it some depth and texture to it there. This, what we're putting down, is going to harden so well that it'll allow us to keep building on it. But I'll probably go ahead and start adding texture to it today, just in case parts of it I just don't come back and add more Magic Sculpt to, just in case it ends up being exactly what I need it to be, or close enough to exactly. But that's the last of the Magic Sculpt I've mixed, so let's go ahead and spray it down, give it a little water, a little spritz. We'll then start to smooth things down, blend it in. This stuff will snag onto the aluminum foil pretty easy once it actually starts to cure. But we're going to do this, and then while it's still wet and soft, I'm going to find a rock that I've used many, many times from one of my previous yards, and let's start giving this thing some texture. This is one of the easiest and fastest ways to make this thing look interesting. Hello, friendly light. You're out of control. All right, got that. Now I'm going to turn this guy again so you can see it a little bit better while I have to mix up more of the Magic Sculpt. And let's raise him up a bit. Okay, my friend, it is time for you to get more on this side. But first, the Magic Sculpt must commence. So, if you're just tuning in on Twitch, on YouTube, on Facebook, and you have not seen, I'm mixing up more of the Magic Sculpt. A 2-part resin. 1 part resin, 1 part hardening agent. I do not like breathing this stuff in. It is not good for me. But that's okay. It is a small price to pay for art. And this is by far my favorite medium that I have found to date to make weird stuff with. Big old glob of that. Then I need another equal size big old glob of the resin, or the, I don't know which one was that. I always get them mixed up. Yeah, I need a big old glob of the hardening agent. I'm living mine. So getting the other bucket, I'm going to pull out just as much. So this, I've had this bucket open a couple weeks now, and it's definitely getting harder and more difficult to pull the bits from. That's okay. It won't take long for me to start mixing this up and start laying down some more of this skin bit. So I figure today I'm going to try to get all of the skin down, right? All that texture where I'm putting the rock in, maybe get all the foundation of the beak in. If depending on how fast things go and how timing goes, I may need to order more Magic Sculpt. I don't know. And then tonight, tomorrow morning, I will start digging around through all of my bits and bobbles, all the pieces, all the more geometric stuff that I just can't sculpt in clean, hard lines, and start getting the things together, the tubes, the weird cyborgy stuff that I want to add to it. If you want to do something with electronics in a sculpt, let me know. I can help plan and build light and moving parts for a sculpt. See, I love the idea of that. That takes planning, though, and foresight, and I tend to fly by the seat of my pants. But I need to get ahead of things. and start thinking like that. Something about the sculpting side and being in the moment. Sorry, camera, my friend. Being in the moment of it is part of the joy for me. Ka-clunk. All right. Again, just getting these coils out, the two different materials. Now I must make them one. Just going to have to mix these together. It'll take a few minutes to make all this happen. Lots of the fun sounds of smackety smacking of the resin going together. Perhaps now it's time to move it from the punk rock to more of the dancey dance, so I can dance while I'm doing this to move things around. Maybe it'll make the blending process even faster. But then that means I have to get this dye from the resin on my phone, which, it's fine. My phone's already a wreck, right? But I guess I should go ahead and turn this guy this way a little bit, because we will be working on this side some more. We'll keep going down this side once this magic sculpt is worked out. I need to connect it to the wooden plaque. Wooden plaque, it's not really a plaque. I made a kind of base out of plywood to anchor it to. I cut a smaller base for the cardboard base that I kind of wood glued that to, and then screwed all this to this one piece of wood to keep it on my easel. All right, we are still not anywhere close yet. You can see there's the strands of gray in there. We want none of that. But once my forearms are tired and have given up and can take no more, that is when it'll be time to add the magic sculpt to this monster. This creature has no name yet. He has no stats. I don't know if he's going to be a sentient creature. I don't know if he's going to be some demonic beast from some other hellverse. Who knows where it will come from. It does take planning. A lot harder to freeform components. Possible, but harder, yeah. No, I totally understand. If I'm going to be doing more electronic stuff, I really should be actually thinking through it and doing it ahead of time. Plotting, planning, all that good stuff. Okay, almost there with this stuff. Almost ready to slap this stuff into place. Nope. Then I see a big old strand of gray in there, and I know it is not time yet. Okay. It feels warm. It feels pliable. It feels like it's almost that time. Okay, I think before I actually move into the next phase, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my drinking water, if I can find, there it is, all the way back there. One for me, one for the spray bottle. I should have filled the spray bottle up before coming down to the print shop, but that's okay. Okay. That should be plenty. Don't drink out of the spray bottle. Yum, killing time. Okay, and also before that, usually a strand of gray means your past time. I do not understand that reference. Okay, we're going to go and we're going to do some. There we go. Now it's time to put some of this on here. We're going to start at the back where the neck hits, work our way up. Once I get some volume. Gray hair equals solid. Okay, I get it now. Going to flatten this out a little bit more. I just need to get just enough of the Magic Sculpt to really kind of start to cover it so it'll harden up, and we'll build a foundation. I'm going to let this grip into the wood a little bit. Start putting that down. Because once this hardens tonight, we can keep building on top of it and really give it the shape, the form that we want to have. Hello, Magic Sculpt. Go on there. I should have built this up a little bit more with more aluminum foil, I think. But alas, I took the aluminum foil upstairs earlier to use in the kitchen. So now that is not here. Again, let's turn this a little more sideways. Just starting to build this up. We'll add some texture in a few minutes once we get that on there. Does that Magic Sculpt tweak out the underlying build of the foil stuff? To a degree, I mean, because the foil's on a little loose. If I wanted to press, like if you see me pressing down and seeing the foil going in, that's because I didn't really pack it in. I just kind of gave it a loose form, which is okay with how I built this. If you really wanted to, if it was structurally sound, it would not push in any further than you pushed it in. I'm just smashing this down. It's pretty thin at this point. I want to try and get as much use and life out of the Magic Sculpt as I can. Now, one thing, I'm trying not to go too far over the wood in the back, because when I decide to mount this to something, if it's flush in the back, if I don't have to like take a sander to the back so it's nice and flat, it'll make it a lot easier when mounting it to some other material. And once we get all this kind of patchwork of Magic Sculpt all over here, then I'll smooth it all down with the spray bottle and start adding some texture, some foundation texture. But you'll see in a short amount of time, we will have some good form to this beastie. Putting a little bit up here, get a little on the back side, like the part going behind the spiny parts. And more here. I was happy with how the cardboard basic skeletal structure came out. It's not something I have a lot of experience with. And it's something I really enjoy kind of thinking through the process of how that works, how it all kind of maps together or pieces together like a weird Lego set. When I find stuff going over areas I've already coated, I'm just ripping pieces off just to continue to make this stuff stretch. And as long as I get most of the aluminum foil covered today, that'll give a really solid base to be able to then add details and stuff to tomorrow. I'll probably even come in with maybe like a white pencil and draw bits and pieces on top of it once it's dry, of like where I may want an eye or where I may want circuitry or tubes, especially when I start going through all the bits and bobbles of what I want to add to this beastie. because I can already see like a one of my favorite plastic pieces to use is like the lid to a cheap laundry detergent bottle. It's just something about that shape I dig. So maybe using that for the eye, maybe cutting out part of that and using that for an LED is one of the cyborg eyes, and maybe it has a real natural eye on the other side. Because I don't think in this one, I don't think I drew multiple eyes on this creature. I know, strange for me. Yeah, I think with it only being 4 o'clock, this thing's going to take shape. There's going to be a lot added to this beastie before the day's over. Again, just doing patchwork, filling in little holes, tearing bits and pieces. Do you do the bit underneath to save on the Magic Sculpt? Oh, yes, absolutely. Those 2 buckets together are like $130. And it's not only is it cheaper, it's also lighter, which is nice because it's lugging stuff around, hanging things on walls. Trying to have them lighter weight is good. Please ask all of the questions you think are dumb that you'd like. Oh, Janet, what's up? The message showed up in Facebook Day. Hooray. I hope you are having a lovely Friday. All right, that is all the Magic Sculpt we had mixed up for that round. Now you see all of this patchwork stuff. Now it's time to squirt, 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 and blend it all together. Come on, there we go. Let's go. Let's go. I'm going to start back here and just start blending it together, smoothing it out. And we'll just keep going on this side the entire time. We won't do the beak or anything until we get the skin bits on the other side done. Okay, Light, I think I want you like that. And because this is still so soft underneath of here with the aluminum foil, just got to kind of be careful and make sure I don't do too much force and just jam my thumb through aluminum foil and cardboard. Sometimes you don't know your strength. Yeah, just realized I'm on Facebook, not YouTube, which is a lovelier seeing you sculpt. Oh, thank you. Yeah, today was the day I needed to do some sculpting because this is going to take a while, and I think I'll probably do some tomorrow as well because I don't have any. The only plans for tomorrow is to get my ass on my BMX and go for a long bike ride in the morning, to do my weekly pilgrimage to the grocery store. And it's not my weekend with the kids, so it will be lots of making of the stuff. Some writing, some layout, all things that I enjoy. Again, we're getting pretty close with smoothing this out. It doesn't have to be great, knowing I'm probably going to come back and I'm certainly going to come back and add details and structure and some of the form, but I will mash down with a rock to give details just in case some of this peeks through in the final sculpt. So, just take a chance. Got to take a step back, and then we'll start pushing some rock into this. Need to squirt some here, smooth it out. Again, just using this rock from one of my old yards that has stayed with me for a long time. I've used this to texture so many creatures. I love it. Check for a heart attack. Nice. I need a shirt that says Dance Commander. Or maybe a patch for my battle vest. It's in the song that I'm listening to. Sorry, I realized that was coming out of nowhere. I think you could use some mini fog machines for this guy. Oh shit, that would be crazy. I think he needs lots of teeth. I mean, this is kind of like a dinosaur-y type beak, but it will have teeth in there. I need to figure out something that I want to sculpt to put my kids' teeth into, because I was digging around in some of my stuff and found all of their teeth. And I definitely have been saving them for a very special sculpture. Yes, patch. All right. All right. So some of the aluminum foil was pulling off, but that's fine. Pushed it back down. Yes, it's starting to come together. I can feel what this creature is going to be. But now it's time for more magic sculpt. All right, just set the lid down there. Sometimes I forget that when I'm sculpting, it's a lot easier to just have my contacts in. Again, I'm getting a big mound of this stuff, just like last time, because we'll work through it. We're going to work through a lot of the magic sculpt today. I think, if I'm lucky, I'll have just enough in these two buckets to finish off this beastie. Okay, big old ball of resin. Psych, hardener. Can never get those straight. The resin's the stuff that's got the awful stank to it. But you can't ignore my techno. All right, I think I've got enough. Now it's time to mix these two together. Turn these into coils, give these the nice squeaky, squeaky sounds. Take a step back, look at it while I'm mixing the two together. This one's going to be almost as long as the Warhound from the wall, with a wider head, I think. The size. Any other requests other than this thing needs lots of teeth? I need the Warhound so badly. It's still up on my wall. It is ready for you if you really truly want it, but do not allow it to be a friggin' laser beams. Of course it needs laser beams. Do not become indebted for the sake of the Warhound. So much blending that must be done with this magic sculpt. It's not a freaking shark. I have savings account for the Warhound. You tell me when you are close, and I will make sure no one else claims it. Oh, you just recently threw out your kid's baby teeth? Oh, I see you on the YouTubes, Janet. Yes, I could have put them in a sculpture, and, you know, who knows what sort of weird shit would happen from it later in life. Anything can get laser beams bolted to its head? You are not wrong. Yeah, I've been saving them for a while just because I knew I wanted to put them in something. But yeah, I mean, like the tiger in the core Vast Grimm book has laser beams coming out of its eyes. We're getting close. We're almost ready to add this to this beastie. I'm glad that the YouTube worked today. Oh no, I just dropped a turd of magic sculpt on the floor. We'll start building up under the chest of this beast. We'll finish out the face. We'll get everything up to where the beak is. Then we'll turn it around, do the other side. More leaves, more leaves. Oh, you're not wrong. I do need to sweep in here. But that's kind of a constant in this print shop, especially trudging through the backyard to get here. Next week, I've got to do some printing for some friends. Going to be printing some zines for some folks, which is good. Catalog for another friend. Okay, I think we're pretty much blended together now. I think we're ready to go. Yes. Okay, I'm going to start here, work my way back. Again, like with this, we're just making flat pieces of magic sculpt, just smashing it down, mashing it out. We'll blend it in a bit, squirt it down, add some texture, and keep this train going. Hold on. Where am I holding on to? There we go. Sometimes you just gotta give it a grip from somewhere. Get a grip, Brian. Mash it out, start to see where it'll fit in okay. That'll fit in there pretty good. Hello, friend. I'm going to hold on to you right here. Okay, just mash it down. And then more. Here, we're coming in with more. Okay, a little patch here, squeaky, little here, little where I'm seeing some shiny here. Hi. Okay. Here we go. check it out real quick. And then here we go. Going to add some under this cheek here. I was really happy with how the cheek structure worked out with the cardboard. That was a fun build. Just pushing this magic sculpt down and going to come up under. And again, just going to keep filling out these little holes, packing it in just to where I think the fleshy bits will be. Then we'll build this beak out after that. Let's get all the fleshy bits done first. I like doing the fleshy bits. Yes. Going to keep smashing this magic sculpt down, pressing it in. Got a little, I mentioned I got a later start today because I had some meetings and stuff I had to take care of, which was good. Plus, the kids were out at a kickball event thing, which meant Pepper was with me. And I didn't really want her to be in here while I'm sculpting, just in case I had to pick her up or do stuff like that while I've got the gloves on. I don't want her accidentally licking anything, any of the water or anything that would drip off of the magic sculpt. Sorry, camera. And then at some point, I'm going to have to make sure that this actually attaches, the magic sculpt attaches here, but I can let this harden up and then fill it in from behind once it's hard. I can do that tomorrow, probably. Patch that little hole. I think I'm going to have to raise this guy up a little bit to get under. I only have so much height in the print shop. Okay, you can still see that, so that's okay. We'll do that. God, this thing's a beast. It's going to be so big. I did apply for there's not the Oddities Expos that are traveling around the country, but there's a Atlanta Oddities Museum, and they have an event twice a year at the Masquerade, one at Christmas, and now they're doing one in the summertime. And I applied to be a part of that. So part of my desire to make a bunch of new sculptures and things like that is to actually have beasts for that show. And not just have the product, not just the RPG product, but some of my more original artwork to have showcased there. Try and sell that to some of the Atlanta weirdos. And I mean weirdos in the best possible way. I missed the Oddities thingy here in Asheville for the trip to Georgia. I heard mixed reviews about the big expo, the Atlanta Expo. So this is definitely different from that that traveling one that they do all over the place. I think this will be a lot more smaller local folks probably. Whereas like I know a lot of people do a lot of the Oddities Expo shows traveling around the country doing a bunch of those. Tightening up my gloves a little bit as I'm going to be, as soon as this little bit's on here, we're going to spraying it down with water, smoothing it out, add some texture before mixing up some more Magic Sculpt and moving on to the other side to lay the foundation down. I think I want the beak here to come all the way back to like up here. So I think I need to put some Magic Sculpt up under this part of what I would kind of consider the chin of this beastie. Well, you know what I mean. I heard that it was a lot of very similar stuff, a lot of animals and formaldehyde, a lot of overpriced of that. There were various vendors that were unique and original that had their own thing that stood out, but a lot of the same. And again, just building out the foundation of this beastie. For anybody that is just now tuning in, I'm making a weird monster taxidermy from my sci-fi setting Vast Grimm. This is going to be a strange mix of a vulture-like dinosaur type creature. It will have some cyborg bits in it once we get to the next phase of the sculpting, where I start putting tubes and wires and all sorts of weird into this thing. Okay, but now I've put all the Magic Sculpt on that I've mixed up. You're okay up there. I'll drop it down a little bit. I'm gonna spray it down with some water. This will allow me to smooth out all the patchwork of Magic Sculpt that I've jammed in here. Girl in the ring. I'm just smoothing this out with my thumb. Now I cut my thumb the other day with the lid to a tuna can jar. And it still has a gash going at a weird angle in my thumb, and it does not feel great, but it feels much better than it did yesterday. So I can mash some Magic Sculpt today. Yesterday, I would have been sad and wincing. And nobody wants to see that. That does not make for good TV. Again, just smoothing this out. It's okay if it moves and I get different weird forms in here, if the aluminum foil underneath mashes together and goes in different ways, because we'll be able to come back and add to this later. Squirting it down with some more water. The more water you have on here, the easier it is to move and smooth out and blend. Blend, blend, blend. Sorry for the back of my head there. Sorry for the gleam off the dome. That's usually why I keep those overhead lights off, because it keeps the shine down. But after seeing the video and seeing how you can see things much better with the overhead lights and the spotlights, it was far more important to be able to see what was going on, especially when I was sculpting on the panel, when I was doing that Goliath, that weird kaiju-like creature. Okay. I think I've smoothed this in enough for what we need for today for this side. It's got some interesting neckline shapes that are coming in that I'm kind of digging on. I was kind of amused by the South Carolina Comic-Con setup. By either accident or design, at the cheap Chinese crap retailers were all in the front, so they were easy to skip. Oh, those Evermorph cubes came in today. Bring one to give away at the next game night. Oh, awesome. Thank you. I'm looking forward to the next game night. I'm also looking forward to Drink and Draw on Wednesday. I need to figure out what I'm going to be working on by then. Okay, I'm just taking this, like, as I mentioned earlier in the stream, this rock that's from one of my previous yards. It will quickly, easily add texture and detail into this sculpt with very little effort on my part. It looks really good once it's painted up, once you dry brush some highlights and lowlights onto it. You can see where the aluminum foil is pulling away. Part of that is having enough water on it so it doesn't want to pull back, but that's all right. We can allow this to move and shape however it wants to, and know that we'll add more to it once this is a hardened form. All right, we got that side pretty well built up for now for this initial layer of Magic Sculpt. That being said, I'm gonna turn this guy around. You should make a mold of the rock so you can make resin replicas. That's a good idea. At one point on some of the earlier sculpts that I did, I made these kind of like scales, kind of like almost like dragon scales, but they had like little spikes on them. And I made resin. I made a silicone mold of those, and I cast those out of resin, and then I plop, 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 and put them all over a bunch of sculptures. The problem with me and with pouring resin and silicone molds is that I'm a sloppy bitch, and I get shit everywhere. Okay, hang on. I don't want to yank the computer down. Turn it this way. Easy, easy. There we go. And can I get to it? I can get to you over here. I can block the camera a bit, but not too much. You can see some cardboard peeking through here, like it wants to say hi to everybody. Okay. Now it's time to mix up some more Magic Sculpt to start building out that side of the beast. All right. Before I do that, I'm going to have a sippity sip of water. If there's any questions along the way about any of the weird stuff that I'm making or why I'm doing what I'm doing, why I'm sculpting the way I'm sculpting, materials, creatures, any of that stuff, feel free to jump in on any of the chats, either YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, wherever you may find me making the weird stuff. Okay, again, this time I'm going to get it right. I'm using the resin. I'm pulling the resin out first. Then we'll pull the hardener out after that. Are you ready to go? That's it. I'm officially calling these streams Build-A-Beast. It's the Build-A-Beast workshop. I have a feeling that will quickly get a cease and desist. I want to say, got to understand. Yeah, I'm going to be burning through this Magic Sculpt. I guess today's the day. After I'm all done, and it's a Friday, I should probably go ahead and order some. Order probably won't get processed till Monday. That's okay. There's plenty of other stuff to work on if I run out. And this stuff, once it's hard, you can just keep adding to it. As long as you blend it in with the water, nobody's going to know the difference. This is starting to get very stuck to the bottom of this container. So thus my strain as I'm trying to yank it out. This is how much I have left of the one part. Let's see if this is about equal. You might want to say you got to... Feels like there's a little more here. Sorry, I'll get a little more of the resin. And then we'll be ready to mix them together and hear the squeaky, 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 squacky sounds. Boop. Boop. All right. Okay, going to make this into a coil, going to make the other one into a coil. Then we're going to blend those two together. Move back away from the tripod as we're starting to mix it together. Start thinking about this monster, thinking about those teeth that people want in the chat. Again, just mixing these together. Gonna have to mix these together until they're all ready to go. My hands are about done with mixing Magic Sculpt together today. I just hit that cut on my thumb that I'd mentioned a little while ago. That felt great. I loved it. So does the Magic Sculpt get gross on your hands? Is that what the gloves are for? It gets toxic. It makes my fingers tingle, and not in a fun, exciting way. Yeah, resin is not good for your body. You should not breathe this shit in on the regular. You should not have it touch all over your body. So no, wear gloves if you use resin. Maybe I have a more sensitive reaction to it than other people, but you know, if I'm having that, who knows what it's doing behind the scenes. So yes, always wear gloves when you're using Magic Sculpt or any other form of resin, any epoxy sculpt, anything like that. Do not risk your health for the sake of the art, or don't risk it too much anyway. I was just going through a bunch of paperwork in my office trying to find something, and I came across this stuff from the ENT doctor for when I had my sinuses completely excavated. So yes, that is, and that was from being in a room all the time because I was sculpting so much and breathing all this in as it cured. So yeah, I shouldn't be in here with, I should have more ventilation in here right now. I should, or be wearing a rebreather, but it's hard to talk and wear a rebreather. It's also, I like being able, I don't like sweating as much as I do with the rebreather on. I'm already too warm as it is. And I'm in shorts and I've got the window AC, like the mini split AC unit blasting at me at 68 degrees. You helped a friend out with some resin pours. We used gloves with that, but that was liquid. Yeah, liquid resin, same thing. We're getting close to being able to start slapping this on the beast. We got some light gray strands still in there. Love this song, but it's got a super long outro. Boop. Liquids are bad too, yes. Absolutely. Breaking that into two strands to blend together is making it blend a little bit faster. Under the sun. I think I may do this batch of Magic Sculpt and then call it. We'll see. We may do one more batch, but now that we're talking about the resin and breathing it in and all that stuff, I don't know if it's just me and I'm getting paranoid, but it's like, oh, maybe I should take a break from it. Okay, we are almost. I think this is good and ready to add on to this beastie. We're going to start at the back and work our way up this back area and work our way towards the front of the creature. I'm going to take that Magic Sculpt and I'm just going to smash it down. Just going to keep mashing and mashing and mashing. I grabbed a big old piece, so this is a whole lot of mashing that I'm doing. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Okay. I'm just going to drop this on here. We're just going to start pushing it in, working it down. So the thing is, now the other side is soft. So if I grab it from that side to try and give myself some sort of leverage point, now I'm mashing into where I've already pressed down with rocks. So now I have to start being more conscious and thinking about where my hands are going. And as I mentioned earlier, I tend to be a bit sloppy when I make art. So sometimes I just don't watch where I need to be going. Okay, I'm going to drop this back here. You maced yourself while making hot sauce? Fantastic. Okay, again, I'm just flattening out Magic Sculpt, laying down foundations so that we can do details tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow's the day for details. Unless something comes up and I decide that I'm going to go and adventure out somewhere with friends or anything like that. But tomorrow will probably be a day of making weird stuff. And I'm going to keep squeezing down this Magic Sculpt and adding to it. Sorry about the back of my head. I'm going to get this hole that you can see the aluminum foil right here. Just going to fill that in. Again, just laying down flat pieces. We'll mash them all together, blend them together, start adding texture once we work through this bit of Magic Sculpt that we've mixed together. Baby. Going to try and get some of the backside here filled out. Keep mashing it down. Stop. You a tree, man? I'm really excited to start seeing where this thing goes once we start putting plastic bits and bobbles onto it. I've got so many buckets of things. I need to figure out where they all are because I've moved a bunch of stuff around in the past year. Some things are in the closet in my office upstairs. There's some things down here in the print shop. But I definitely want tubes and big geometric looking things coming onto it. Make it as cyborg man-sheeny as possible. Creature sheeny. We gonna work. I do not understand. I'm gonna say I love that my friend's family is from Laos, specifically because excellent, a specific region. Okay. Again, just gonna keep adding. I think I'll try and get up here. We don't have a whole lot left in this batch that was mixed up, so I want to try and get as much covered as I can. Let's drop this guy down a little bit, just so I can get a better vantage point. Try not to overlap too much of it right now, knowing that we'll be coming back into it with more Magic Sculpt after this hardens up. Okay, back. Your 13-year-old came home and cost you money, as 13-year-olds often do. I hope your 13-year-old is doing well and they're ready for whatever their weekend adventures entail. I don't know what you missed while you were gone, but the other side is covered in Magic Sculpt. And this side is now getting covered. Not the beak, of course, just the fleshy bits. Come on, aluminum foil, stay there. Be good. We gon' work it out. Make it right. And a little more just to keep that tin foil down. Got a little bit more that we're going to share and put on this guy. Maybe we will go ahead and mix up more after this one's done, just to get this fleshy bits done. I just won't mix up nearly as much as normal. Or do I go all the way? Do we keep going and do we get the foundation of the beak done today too, just so all the groundwork is ready for tomorrow? It seems like that's the smarter play. And it's only 4:47. It is early squirrely. Taking these little patches, I'm going to leave some of this aluminum foil here visible because I want to put some of that, build that up around it and give it more depth once this is hard and I'm not accidentally cutting into it at all. Again, just mashing down with my fingers and so I just got a message and it was fantastic. You know who sent it. If you're out there listening, watching, you are not wrong. Oh, the childhood humor is fantastic. Okay, I'm going to take a step back, look at it for a minute before we start squirting it with water and smoothing things out. Okay, let's smooth this thing out. Let's add some texture to it, and let's keep going. Squirt, 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 squirt. Flooding, flooding. Okay. Gonna smooth this down. Just gonna blend this all and make it feel like it's all part of one layer of Magic Sculpt. Get rid of most of these creases, most of the seams. Know that we'll come back. Keep smoothing it down. We may need to come back in with a little more water. Bum, bum. All right. Now we've got all that layer. Oh, I missed this backside. That's why I have to come and look from all the angles. I'm gonna hold you in the mouth hole. Be nice. Do not bite down. Okay, thank you. We're all friends here. 2, 3. Now we're gonna squirt it down again and throw some rock texture up in it. Just going to smash into this. I'm holding onto your beak just to get somewhere to grip onto. Maybe that's why I don't do the beak today, because I'm not going to have anywhere once we get to that point that I'm going to actually be able to hang into. I'm finding areas where I didn't necessarily blend it in together, but as I see myself smashing the rock down, it seems to be hiding some of the creases, some of the lines that are in here. Foundation there. So now, next foundation pieces, lift you up. Boop. We got to get this part of the chest up into the cheek right here. And then that's where we will stop for the day. I'm going to let that dry before we start tackling the beak, because I want that to be hard. Need some more rock texture right here. Okay, now mix a little bit of Magic Sculpt for that. We're not going to need a ton. After you let it harden overnight and you go back to it, if you get it wet again, can you keep tweaking it? Oh no. Once it's hard, it's hard. And it is done. That part, but you can blend stuff into it easily. You're going to be too much. We're going to start with this. If I need to mix more, I will. But I'm going to try my best not to overdo it this time. Especially being on a limited amount of Magic Sculpt. God, that shit's so expensive. Okay. This size is what we're working with. Let's put you in your mouth. Ah. You're collecting rocks for me, my friend. Do not chew that up. Do not swallow that. Yes? Pretty close. I will say yes. Okay. Hopefully this is all the Magic Sculpt we're mixing up today. You think he needs venom sacs? Perhaps. Perhaps that should be written into the lore. Get on the mic. Yeah, give it a sack. Thank you, Jason. Mix these together. Let's see. Hopefully this is enough. If not, it's going to be close enough, and we'll call it after that. We'll start up here, work our way down. Ooh, I see areas down here that I did not blend in well. Sometimes you just see stuff after the fact. Let's get that in. At least it's still soft and pliable. And get up. This is the future sound. You've been trying to be good this whole stream. That's fine. Funny. Y'all are never good. But in the best way. I'm going to have to stand back when I photograph this thing once it's all done. Drink it loud. All right. See the strands? Those will soon disappear. It will become one. It's definitely easier to see when you use the dyed resin versus just a straight up gray resin. I do not know how many times you restrained yourself, Malakat. I think you should probably take a tally or turn it into a drinking game. Nothing like getting wrecked while I'm sculpting. Whoopsies. All right. Magic Sculpt is almost completely mixed up. We're almost ready to do this last and final coat for the evening, for the day, for the afternoon. We'll put as much as we can on here. Put some texture into it. We'll let it cure. I'll find some cool pieces to add to this tomorrow as we continue to sculpt it out. To add all sorts of weird. Okay. Just going to get some of the Magic Sculpt. Going to mash it down with my thumbs, spread it out, make a big piece. Patchwork. We're going to start up on the cheeky cheek. Find out where I can hold on to it, press down. I'm just coming into the mouth just a little bit to press down the Magic Sculpt because the foil there where I did it is allowing it to pop off just a little bit. Bill Henderson, your 10-year-old came in and gave her stamp of approval of your work. Thank you. Yes. You should totally get her stuff to sculpt with. I love it. Okay, gonna put a little layer here as we continue to patch it out. You would die of alcohol poisoning before the stream was over. Yes. Oops. Magic Sculpt down. More leaves added to the sculpt. Adding this in here, I'm just going to keep building that out as much as we can. Red Hot by Jurassic 5 is a song that just always makes me want to groove. All right, patching that in there, getting close. This drain is right now. Again, just adding little bits and pieces here and there, throwing this Magic Sculpt in. We'll smooth it out in just a few minutes. Add some of that rocky texture. As I'm looking at it, trying to see it from this angle, even though the head's kind of tilted a little this way, it's definitely a little more under jowl here, under cheek, that I'm going to have to build up to. But we'll build up to that tomorrow when we mix more Magic Sculpt and throw that into it. For now, we'll just get this one like candy coated shell on this beastie to give it that foundation, that rigidness that we'll need to keep sculpting on top of it. Discord's borked right now? Dang. Okay. No, I had no idea. Well, I mean, how could I while I'm here? But I guess no Discording in after this. Oh, this aluminum foil is coming off of the beak. Tighten that back up a little bit. That's all right. Some of the aluminum foil is just on super loose just to get the foundation, the overall shape that I wanted for it. for a 10-year-old starting out, just some Sculpey is a good foundation, something you can throw in like a toaster oven just to get some ideas down. Definitely wouldn't suggest using the Magic Sculpt that I'm using. I wouldn't want to subject a kid to that material. I don't let my kids use this stuff. Okay. Gonna do a big old pancake of this stuff here. Just gonna squeeze it and flatten it out as much as I can. We're gonna patch it right here and do one big patch. Know that some of this will need to be filled in tomorrow, but this should be enough to make it strong. Let's go ahead and spray this guy with some water. All the places we just filled in. Then we're going to smooth this guy down. Blend stuff together. Let all this patchwork become one. So after I put down the textures, smash the rock into what I've got going on here, I think we're going to be done for the day. Do you have any questions, concerns, thoughts, comments? I do not know what time I will be sculpting tomorrow. Tomorrow's just gonna be whenever happens, happens. I will probably end up doing a speed sculpt video of all of this at some point where I mash them all together. And so it can be a quick view, like 2-minute watch or whatever the program will allow me to do. Gotcha. She uses clay and whatnot now to make stuff. Probably start doing some more cardboard and aluminum foil. Oh, that's fantastic. Yes, that's great. Gonna squirt it again before I start mashing down with the rock. Turn it up. Let's start over here. Both of my kids have been taking a traditional pottery class for a couple of years now at the local art center, and they both thoroughly enjoy it. This was starting to sag down. I'm hoping that it will stay up for the evening while it's curing, and it won't sag down and then harden in a weird jowly jaw for this beast. So I'm going to mash this. Oh, no, stay up there. You stay up there tonight. Okay. So I think that's it for today's stream. For everybody that tuned in and hung out, thank you so much for being here. We will, let me drop this down one notch, spin him around so you can kind of see. Okay, Light, you can go up here if you would. He's a pretty big beastie. Well, thank you again. I appreciate you tuning in, and I will see you all on the next time around. Oh, hang on. How do you combat this stuff falling off of the foil? Is that the stuff hardens? Yes, so it will harden now. So it shouldn't fall off once it actually hardens up. And that should, especially as it's going in nooks and crannies, it's kind of building the, it's building this area that it's actually forming to it. So it's not going to be able, it shouldn't be able to pop off. Now watch tomorrow, it'll be like clunk. But yeah, this should be pretty set in about 4 to 6 hours, maybe 8 hours. So I probably won't come back and check it tonight. But that's why I'm doing this thin coating underneath of it. All right, everyone. I will see you all next time. Thank you so much, and goodbye.